Good morning. Steve here. And this morning, I'd like to just explore some areas with you related to sound and vibration and the effect on our physical matter, our body, effect on matter. This matters, that matters. We all are mattering. Okay, so how is this going to work? And we'll find out. We never know. We just do things and we see what effect they have. But I had the thought, I've had a very productive day, which is interesting because I have not found I like productive days. I like getting things done that seem useful to get done. But over the past 7 months or so, mid-August, I began noticing that my body was doing a detoxing process. Now, I had been stimulating that for a couple months with Epsom salts baths, and just consciously, doing 4 or 5 detox baths a week to see if there were toxins that would come out of my body and if I would feel better, if I'd feel more energy. And so that was my intention. I had been doing it for, I'd say, June, July, 4 or 5 times a week. I would get in the bathtub with Epsom salts and just lay there for 10 or 15 minutes. It wasn't a long time. It was a little similar to the idea of detoxing through a sauna. But anyway, mid-August, my body began to really get active with detox. And as I've noticed before, when I've done things like the Master Cleanse diet, which try to alter that position a little bit so I don't have the doorknob right there by my head. So through the Master Cleanse diet, I would notice that at a certain point, my body would begin to detox, usually around the 4th day, I think it was. And you can get the pamphlet on the Master Cleanse diet. It's just lemonade and gray bean maple syrup and cayenne pepper, which cayenne pepper tends to break down mucus. So anyway, I've been interested in detoxing, and for some reason I triggered off some major detox. I'm beginning on the 17th of August and continuing up to this day. So my good thoughts about it are that if my body continues to get rid of things that it finds to be toxic substances, then it's better for me to have those out of my body than inside my body. So that's the thought. So I've had this intention to detox the body, and I've had this experience of detoxing the body. So I think when we kind of set our attention on things, we can sometimes cause them to happen, and we set the intention, and sometimes we set it subconsciously, like we intend to have something happen and we don't even know we're intending to have it happen, and then it happens. And then we find out that we can kind of create our reality both from our conscious minds, but more from our beliefs about the world, and how we can be kind of penned in to a reality based on our beliefs. And I've talked a little bit before about how our beliefs are related to our unresolved experiences that can also be called traumas. And unresolved experience means that we had an experience that caused emotions that we didn't release the emotions. And so the emotions are still contained in the trauma. Now, I don't know who Billy Carson is. I don't know anything about him. But my algorithm showed up on the side. I was watching my own video. I don't remember which one it was. I can't remember. It might have been the tarot one that I made yesterday or the day before yesterday, I think it was. I was listening to that again, and I was scrolling along the side, and I found this talk by Billy Carson about how DNA can be affected by sound and vibration. And I said, oh, well, I could listen to myself, or I could listen to somebody else. And I just chose to listen to somebody else. And so I don't know, I don't know anything about this person. He seems like pretty motivating. His speech is motivating. And he talked about cymatics and the use of sound and vibration to affect change. And he was talking about how the studies they're doing showing how sound and vibration can affect change, can affect um, psychological states, can affect emotional states, can affect physical states. So we're all affected, knowingly or unknowingly. We may all be affected by vibrations. So I don't know if it's a fact that I'm detoxing or have been detoxing for a little over 7 months now. But I find my energy awareness, which was pretty strong, compared to the average, doing healing work over the phone and being able to feel what was going on with the client in my own system, like, oh, feeling this tightness here or this thing or whatever things were going on with the client, I would feel them. And then I'd also feel them when they would release. And I'd make that sound. I'd make some sort of, no, my cat makes the sound. She's in the room, so there she goes. There's a little meow. She makes these sweet sounds that affect me. And every time, and so I sleep with my cat. I'd say half the time, she feels like I maybe need to have her around in the dream world when I'm doing all this active stuff in the dream world. But throughout the night, I'll be sleeping, and she usually curls up behind my knees, and all of a sudden she'll just be like this, and I'm always like, oh. And so I just realized for some people who are allergic to cats or don't like cats or whatever, it's probably not useful for them. But for people like me who feel like, cats are my teachers, then to have a cat making these lovely sounds and noticing how I'm affected by those little murmurs or whatever, especially in the dream world where I'm just like, oh, she's there, this is good. And she's always grounding energy. She works with, I'd say, over 90% of my healing sessions. She's helping to ground the energy of the client I'm working with. So that was a fair amount of information. So I'm just going to touch the screen here so that my computer knows I still want to be recording. So what we're going to do today, we're not going to set up a field. There's always the world healing field that is set up. So if we want to connect the world healing field, we can use the world healing field as a means of assisting us to ground energy, or we can just feel our feet, feel the bottoms of our feet, feel the lines of energy from the chakras in the bottom of our feet going into the earth, feeling those energy lines going down further and further in the earth, further and further in the earth. And then we can even state, I ground myself to the healing center of the earth, and we can feel those energies go right in and there. So you might have felt that when you set the intention to ground yourself to the healing center of the earth, and that's what you do. pretty much. It's worked for me for many years. So then my feet get really buzzy, and then I feel like I'm okay. I'm really grounded, and really good energy is moving, and I'm feeling very stable. So then I state, I oftentimes I'll do this for you and for myself, or you can do it for yourself. I surround myself with a field of protection while I do this work. And I just like to be in a field of protection when I'm doing energetic work. And I have, it may be because my energetic awareness is increasing. I don't like to use the term energetic sensitivity because they're so sensitive. I don't want to be so sensitive. I want to be so aware, you know, and I want to learn to be aware of the energies without them being quite so disturbing. So the energies have seemed to be disturbing. But I'm going to set a different focus for myself, and I'm going to do this. I may be doing this every day. I may be doing it through video every day. I'm doing this for me, but you and I, if there is this oneness, you and I are one. So if I do something for me, I do it for you. And if you are here and you've made it this far, I mean, we might be 10 minutes into this video or more, and you're still here, then just know that I'm doing this for you and me, for us. And I like to spell team, TIAM, because I like there to be an I in team. Because when the people used to say to me, there's no I in team, I think, well, that's just stupid. But I understood what they're saying. But they're saying, like, a group sport is not an individual sport. That's just not true. A group sport is an individual sport composed of many individuals. So I put an I in team, TIAM, then you also notice it's I am. So you are the I am in team. How can it get better than that? All right, so I've gotten a lot done today after a period of time of feeling fairly tired continuously day after day. Still doing a lot of healing work, but just feeling like, gosh, the energy is just making me tired. And I'm not going to say why, because I'd just be making something up. I don't really know. I just know that there's been more consistent tiredness over the past 7 months. I know there's an association with tiredness and detoxing, and we're all currently in the last year of a 7-year cycle of a 28-year cycle. But the 7-year cycle of spiritual detox, make it up for yourself what that means. But we're in the last year, so we've done 6 years of detox. We've got one more year to go, completing on March 23rd, 2025. That's the completion date of this 7 years of detox. I'm looking forward to it being done. Hopefully I'll still be here after it. Okay, so we're grounded to the healing center of the earth. We've got a field of protection around us. We're just going to notice our energy. Notice your energy. Notice the energy of your head. Notice the energy of your chest. Notice the energy of your solar plexus area, your gut feelings. Notice those energies. So you've got this head awareness, heart awareness, gut awareness. So those are good awarenesses. All awareness is good. So now you might want to state, I connect with my deep self. And typically just notice yourself going to the core of your being. My own sense when I do this is I go inside the spinal cord, inside the spine, into the spinal cord, and it's part of the brain stem, and the spinal cord is kind of my neural activity, but it's kind of the center of my physicality, so the center of my human portion of my being. So it's the being within the human. It's the I am. It's the deep self. It's the part of the self that's connected to the whole. And when we go into the deep self, we tend to feel a deep peace and we tend to feel calm. And almost every time it's happening again, I'm trying to break the habit of covering my mouth. Every time I go into the deep self, I start yawning. And so I start feeling the relaxation that the deep peace of the deep self brings. It does this every time. And I discovered the deep self for myself after a night of intense dreaming, and then woke up the next day in a different state. I was still in Washington, but in a different state of consciousness. And I became aware that I was in a deep aspect of myself. And then I heard the term, this is your deep self. And I did a number of healing sessions that day from this place of the deep self. And I noticed how much more profound the healing sessions were from the state. And so I've talked about this. This will be very brief, but I've noticed the effect of the deep self on the heart and the circulation, bringing peace to every cell in the body through the circulatory system. I feel like it works through the acupuncture meridians. I feel like it works through the lymphatic system. I feel like it works through the urinary bladder system. I feel like it works through the respiratory system. It definitely is running up and down through the cerebral spinal fluid, bringing peace to the entire, genetic structure of the spine. Tends to open up the crown chakra, and it tends to open up a fountain of light that goes out around the body, back in through the feet, and it moves both directions. So it's moving out, it's moving in. There's a kind of a circle of energetic light going in one direction and in the other direction. And so, anyway, it's a very powerful thing. And I've only known about it since early December. So, December, January, February, March. So, maybe 4 months. So, what we're going to do today, if you continue with this, we're going to just work a little bit for a few minutes. So, grounded to the healing center of the earth, open to the healing power of the one, and whatever that is for you. And so, crown chakra open, grounding chakras open, connected to the deep self, inside the pranic tube, inside the spine, feeling the energies moving up and down in that area that your consciousness is. And now I'm going to make some sounds, maybe some signs, but I think just sounds. I'm going to make some sounds with the help of the beings, the Hathors, who have taught me to work with sound and vibration, done a lot of the work, teaching me to work with sound and vibration. So I'm going to ask the Hathors to assist me or to make the sounds, and I'm assisting them. Whatever it is all kind of one thing. But the Hathors are going to be making some sounds to kind of bring that, to move that peace up and down through the nerve system and to affect us possibly on a genetic level. But my thoughts about this came from once again feeling like a very difficult night of sleep, a lot of intensity in the dream world, waking up with all this feeling of energetic intensity of the world and within myself, and thinking like, oh, I could have had a deep peace. I could have gone to the deep self. And so through practice, my intention is to live from the deep self, live from the deep peace. And so today, it's going to be the first day that I'm going to make the actual sounds of the deep self. And I like watching that fern. Oops, it's on this side. I like watching that fern right there when the wind was blowing through it and it was moving around. It stopped now, but anyway, it was kind of, there it goes. It's moving a little bit now. All right. Sorry for the distraction. Now, connecting with your deep self, I'm going to be the Hathors, outdoors using my vocal cords, whatever, there's going to be some sounds made. They're just going to go for a few minutes, but you can repeat them if you want. If you find them useful, then you can play them again and again and again. And that's probably what I'll be doing as well, because I watch these videos a lot that supposedly I make, but I'm thinking that they just are made and then they're useful. Okay, so here goes the sounds. I was drilling a little bit there. And then Kitty's over there going. So we just do kitty sounds for a minute. Okay. Sounds of peace, or sounds of the movement in peace, or sounds of the movement towards peace, but sounds related to a deep peace that passes all understanding. Certainly passes my understanding. because there's so little that I understand anymore, but there's so many things that are interesting to me, even though I can't claim to understand a lot of them. But I en- enjoy coming to know um, myself on a deeper level, coming to know you on a deeper level, coming to know the deep self on a deep level, at the core of our being. So may this may this sound, may this vibrational sound lead to some type of a healing, some type of an expansion, and we'll do this again um, relatively soon. And so now let's go.